What up, people? Haven't done a video in a while. Figured kind of about time. And I'm starving, which I'm doing a video now. So, motivation for me to be done quick, short and sweet, give you guys a solid update, and then I can go get food. So, I haven't done a video in a long time. I don't remember where I left off at with videos. Before I was kind of doing videos every couple days, and I only did that for a couple weeks even. It's pretty pathetic. But whatever. I was supposed to go home today. It's the 13th of October. I started my day in Lost Hills. Had a load delivering in that place in Stockton. Yeah, Stockton. And then from Stockton, they were gonna get me something. So they get me a pre-plan. I look it over, and I knew it was going to be close, and that's if everything went well with my clock, with how much I'm allowed to drive in a day. I knew it was going to be close. When I got to my drop, though, with the load I brought up to Stockton, I went on Google and looked at my next pickup. I used Google Maps, the satellite view, for every customer I go to the first time. And this place, there were a couple of businesses around it with small box trucks. Nothing around it that looked 53-foot trailer friendly. So I felt something was up. And that my customer, some of you guys might actually know of them. They're called Youth for Christ. That was my supposed customer. And I've done some work with them down in Long Beach. And this is Stockton's chapter. And well, long story short, I get to the building and they don't do business with trucks. It's kind of expected. They don't even have space for it. And considering their work and how I know their work, it just didn't seem right. And hindsight 2020, I would have called and said, hey, this doesn't seem right, look into it. But that probably wouldn't have changed. So I call my dispatcher after getting to my customer, making sure that that's not where I was supposed to be. And she had to leave for a training thing, so she this is where things kind of started to suck. She had to go to a training, and this other dispatcher, whenever I talk to him, sometimes I laugh, sometimes I grit my teeth. It takes over for her when she's gone. After about half hour gone by, I sent them a message. It's like, hey, what's going on? Any news? And he calls me confused. He didn't know what was going on. So I had to bring him up to speed. Hey, I'm at the right address, the right customer that the pre-plan is telling me to be at. These people don't do business with trucks. Something's wrong. I'm supposed to be home tonight. I got a big weekend ahead of me. Big thing that, my dispatcher is known, and we've talked constantly. My dispatcher and I are pretty close as far as the driver and boss is, driver and dispatcher is concerned. She's become a friend. And she wanted to get me home. So they look into it, figure out what's going on, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, I'm at the wrong place. Right customer, but I guess I was supposed to go to a warehouse, so there's somewhere else. I found this out much later. So I haul refrigerated freight. They want to get me on a load home. I ask them to deadhead me, because deadhead means to drive empty. They've sent me deadhead for loads a farther distance than Stockton is to Fontana for me to go home. They, for whatever reason, would not do that. I don't know why. Maybe they're trying to change things, not have people be deadheaded, as long distances, which I guess makes sense, but I don't know why. So I haul temperature controlled freight. There was absolutely nothing in the controlled freight division of Interstate out of Stockton going to Fontana. So they ask the dry van side if there's anything, and sure enough, there's a dry van load that, from the sound of it, was already late. I picked it up in a no-win situation. I'm not going to get it to it. I'm going to get it to its customer. If I end up taking it to its customer, which I'll get to that in a second, I will be there late. There's no way to get it there on time. Unless California was to boost their truck speed limit to 75 and my truck would let me go 75. So in other words, if I owned my own truck and was somewhere not California or Oregon or Washington, I could get it there on time. But because the government knows best and puts all these restrictions on us, it's not going to get there on time. But So that brings me to getting to dry van load. I had to take my empty reefer trailer to our yard in French Camp, thankfully not horribly far. Bobtail, that's driving a truck without a trailer, to a customer in Modesto to pick up an empty, it had to be a high cube trailer. High cube trailers are 14 feet from the ground, not 13.6, which is normal, so just 6 inches taller. That makes all the difference in the world with these loads, because it was really packed to the roof. There was no gap for a 13.6 trailer to get it in. But anyway, so yeah, bobtail to customer, pick up empty trailer, get to the customer, good old fashioned drop and hook, and now I'm at Santanella at the TA, I believe I pulled into, got a parking spot, and I'm done for the night. So I did end up talking to my dispatcher towards the end of it. Right before I called her, actually, I had gone to a truck stop where they told me to go. That's another thing. They wanted me to know my empty weight for whatever reason. My truck and trailer with no freight. So I go to the nearest cat scale, which happened to be in this hole-in-the-wall piece of junk, definitely sketchy truck stop in Stockton, where I saw my first lot lizard. I had not seen a lot lizard until today. And as I leave, I see a second lot lizard approaching another interstate driver. I have no idea what happened. I left. I couldn't care. I had places to do, things to things to do, places to be. I had to get moving. But never seen a lot lizard before. I've talked to drivers who've gone years without seeing one. A year ago right now, I was on my trainer's truck with Knight, and so basically I've been trucking a year, and I've seen 2 lot lizards in one day at the same truck stop. One of them threw me off at first because I would have sworn that it was a friend of mine, and yet a Facebook friend, a real life acquaintance-ish. I'm closer to her dad than her, and yeah, I don't want to give any hints as to who it might be, because yeah, I'm just gonna shut up on that. But so that was interesting. So talking to my dispatcher though afterwards, voicing my frustration about the whole thing, and she is very apologetic. It doesn't help. I'm supposed to still, had plans all day tomorrow, starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, going to about 10:30 at night. So had to do some phone calls and do some trying to get people to fill in for me and whatnot, doing the different things, because there's a function going on this weekend that's super important. Not going into details about that, but that's why I got to be home. And so my dispatcher and I talked, got it sorted out. I'm still not happy about it, but I feel better, especially because she is how do I say this? We're going to plan my home time differently to avoid this situation happening again. And I gave her an example, applying it to this trip to make sure we were on the same page, and we were good. And during our talk, she dropped a bomb on me, a good one, and I let it go. But then at the end, I brought it back up, and she was talking to me about, because she was at a training when things went bad at the customer Youth for Christ. It wasn't really my customer. So, but when she found out that something was going on with me, she's like, Evan's one of my best, if not my best driver. This is, I gotta help him. This isn't cool. But okay, it's like, okay, it's like, I know I kick butt out here. I'll be honest. My productivity while talking to other drivers, I kick butt. That's all there is to it. It's just the truth. I say that in confidence, not just trying to be a cocky person. That's not really me. And sure enough, she went to her boss, who is really cool, and when she heard what was going on, she then got on my side trying to get me something. And this is why I think that they're trying not to deadhead people, because these are the same people who have deadheaded me for farther distances in Stockton to Fontana. So I'll ask about that, but at a later time. So anyway, I think that's it. I hit the lot lizards. I hit that I'm her best, or maybe one of her best drivers. Oh yeah, then I brought that up. She said that. I brought it up to her later, and then she hit on it again and stayed on it. She says, I don't just compliment people. You have to be doing your job well for me to say something. Otherwise, I'm not going to say anything at all. It's like, all right, fair enough. That's just life 101. You can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. But I suppose I break that sometimes. I think pretty much every person does, but it's a good rule to live by. So what's going on? Okay, yeah, so then I'm looking at my hours. By the time I take my break, I gotta get fuel. My fuel stop is just across the street at a Love's, which is already a small truck stop, that's under construction, which is even a smaller truck stop. So part of me, either way, I gotta get fuel. And then to my customer, which is what they wanted me to try to do, which I'll tell you in a second why that's not gonna happen. I'm 6.5 hours away. So by the time I fuel, 6.5 hours, if there's no traffic, roughly I got planned 7 hours from when I get up, or from when I start my day. The earliest I can start my day is at 6 in the morning. 6 in the morning plus 7 hours is 2. Right now I have plans to meet a friend of mine at my house at 4 because he and I are going to LA Kings against Philadelphia Flyers, opening night for the Kings. Lost to the Fishes of the Bay Area last night. Which is okay. Every year they've won a cup, they've started off 0-2, so that's totally cool. And then, in the 2013-14 year when the Kings won the cup, Jonathan Quick got hurt, either in the preseason or I think in the first game, as he did against San Jose last night. So maybe history will repeat itself this time. I don't know. So that's why tomorrow's a big deal. I told them that if I'm not home for that Kings game, because I got the cheapest seats available, they were still not cheap. I told them, I was like, if I lose out on these, because you guys have been great about getting me home, I told them, like, you guys take pride in that, and I was kind of going on that. This has never been a problem. You said you'd get me home too, just when we talked this morning, and I'm not getting home. We're gonna have a talk about the price of those tickets and figure it out, make some compromise. So I mean, absolutely, some of it's my bad for sure because it's trucking and bleep happens. But at the same time, when they're telling me stuff and then they're not following through, things happen. I get it, but at some point, you're kind of, I don't want to say the line, but that's kind of the direction it is. And I don't like liars. I don't take liars well at all. But I mean, it's not like I'm going to quit or anything, but they're going to have to make things at least help me to, on some level, make things right. So, with myself and then with my friend too. But that shouldn't be an issue. He's an understanding, really cool dude. But yeah, so that's what's going on with me. Let's see, 13 minutes. Cool. I was aiming for 10. So that's what's going on with me. I'm gonna put this up on YouTube right now while I'm walking around to get something to eat. I'm kind of tired of truck food, soup and chili and whatnot, but I'll be home tomorrow one way or another. It's just really, do I make the Kings game or not? That's the question. So that's all. I'm going to try to do videos more often. I've been slacking on that. I have the data. I pay for data available. I just haven't been using it. I've just been slacking. But hoping to make videos a little more normal. I definitely don't think I'm going to get to the really well level, like that the professional vloggers and YouTubers do. I'm satisfied with one take on a cell phone. It's just easier that way. But eventually I would like get to a point where I can show you guys things and kind of educate you more about what trucking is, about my trucking life/experience. So that's all. But yeah, I will talk to you guys later. Leave you another video sometime soon. Later.